Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome back to The Last Lap. We got a lot of action to cover for you guys. We got the Truck Series raced at Knoxville, and then we got Xfinity and Cup Series at Atlanta. Before we hop into it though, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. It really does go a long way, helps the channel grow, helps us reach new people. The like button would also be appreciated, and you can just check us out on Instagram at The Last Lap News. We post some content on there throughout the week as well. As always, I have Matthew, my friend and co-host, on the show, and we got a lot to get through, so give me a quick 5-10 second recap. How you feeling about all the action that happened this past weekend?
I just don't know what to say. Well, I'm ticked right now. I'm not happy. I'm not nice right now. I'm not anything. I just got a lot of thoughts in my head, and I'm probably gonna rewatch this later on. I'm gonna sound like a whiner and a crybaby, but I don't care. Let's just get this going.
We will we will get into why Matthew is the way he is a little bit later, but we're going to talk about the Truck Series race first. That was at Knoxville on the dirt, the first time they ever raced on dirt. Austin Hill ended up getting the win, and the race ended up going into 4 overtimes at the end. Absolutely crazy. Just my brief, quick opinion on it. I feel like it's good that NASCAR's on dirt, but I feel like that there's a lot that they need to change. I feel like the track needs to get better at preparing it a little bit, because it turned into basically Martinsville on dirt. Like, only the bottom lane would get going, and it was a lot of bumping and banging, which is good. Like, I like that, but at a dirt track, you expect to see multiple grooves, trucks sliding all over the track. It wasn't really that, so it was a good race, but I feel like NASCAR and the tracks need to have a little bit of work to it, because dirt tracks usually have little small midget dirt cars on them, not these heavy stock cars. So I feel like there's a little bit of work that needs to be done, but overall I thought it was a great race. Austin Hill got the win. Matthew, what do you got to say about the truck race really quick?
Well, we watched 2 different races apparently, because I thought that race was absolutely awesome. We need to go back to that track, and we need to bring the Cup Series to that track too, because I thought that was awesome when I saw a lot of passing, a lot of beating and banging like Martinsville, a lot of crazy action. I mean, it was definitely one of the best races of the year for me. And Austin Hill won, which was great, but I really thought Chandler Smith had that in the bag, but he kind of got screwed on that the caution, the second, like that last overtime caution. But congratulations, Austin Hill, and I really want to go back to that track again.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like NASCAR never needs to go there again. I think it was a great race. I just think that NASCAR needs to make a few changes and adjustments moving forward with all the series on dirt, but hopefully they'll be able to do that moving forward. But we're going to move into the Xfinity Series race now. Not really too much to say there. We all know who was in the field, and he ended up winning the race. Kyle Busch did indeed go 5 for 5. Swept the season in Xfinity Series with the win at Atlanta, his 102nd win. He did announce that was going to be his final Xfinity race. He said never say never, but he did say that was going to more than likely be his final Xfinity race. There's a little bit of controversy there towards the end on a late race restart. Daniel Hemrick was in the lead. Kyle Busch was behind him. Kyle Busch gave him a little tap in the back and sent Hemrick up the track into the wall. End up the track into somebody else and then into the wall, but that ended Hemrick's chances. Kyle Busch was able to go through to the lead, and then he was able to hold off a few cars and off of a few late race restarts. So Kyle Busch got his 5th win of the season in the Xfinity Series. Probably going to call it career. Matthew, what do you got to say about Kyle sweeping the season for Xfinity?
Well, it was impressive as always, and he had to earn it all the times, and this time was Daniel Hemrick. And I definitely believe that was his final Xfinity story. I mean, he keeps saying it, so I totally believe him there. That Hemrick part wasn't controversial at all. It's just Kyle haters just finding more excuses, pathetic excuses. I mean, Kyle was just trying to help his teammate out and just hit in the wrong spot. I mean, it was accidental, and he said he was sorry about it. But anyways, yeah, it was great race for Kyle, and yeah, it's probably it for the Xfinity it's gonna be sad not seeing him on Saturdays. I know a lot of people won't miss it, but I will, and other Kyle fans will.
Yeah, Kyle Busch fans might be the only people that are sad that he won't be racing in the Xfinity Series anymore. I don't really mind that he races in the Xfinity Series. I'm glad they made that rule that only Cup drivers could only do 5 races a year, so I'm not mad that he races in Xfinity. I think it's good. Like, Jeff Burton was literally nailing this in last week at Road America and this week at Atlanta, that it's good that Kyle Busch races in this series because it helps the younger drivers earn more talent and earn more respect. Austin Cindric seemed to have a lot of respect for Kyle Busch. Both of them kind of seemed to have a lot of respect for each other, especially last week at Road America. But either way, Kyle Busch probably going to call it a career in the Xfinity Series after this season. But now we're going to hop into the Cup Series recap, and this is a very surprising race for a few different reasons, but I'll briefly recap it, and then I'll say why this was a kind of surprising race. Chase Elliott would start on the pole. He would fall back to third before the competition caution, had some pit road issues. He fell way back to the 20s. He would slowly make his way back up through the field, but Kyle Busch would win stage 1. He started on the outside pole, shot out to the front. Kind of, I wouldn't say dominated stage 1, but Kyle Busch won stage 1. Stage 2, Kurt Busch made his way up through the field, challenged his brother Kyle, ended up winning stage number 2. And in the third stage, there was a red flag actually for track repair, because in one of the tiny little dog legs going on the front stretch, there was a piece of the track that came out or was damaged or something, so NASCAR had to red flag it, repair that, and then it went back green. It was about 20 minutes. Thankfully, nothing too long, especially with weather looming in the area. That was a bit concerning. I'm glad that they were able to get that going again, get the race going, so rain was not an issue. It sprinkled a little bit, but they never threw the caution for it. There were some drivers trying to stay out and try to manipulate the race and try to get them to throw the caution for rain and call the race and all that, but thankfully that didn't happen. I hate rain-shortened races, but into stage 3, came down to green flag pit stops. Kyle and Kurt Busch were the main two all throughout stage 2 and stage 3. Kyle Busch pitted a lap sooner than Kurt, ended up taking the lead, had about maybe a second and a half lead over Kurt as the laps wound down. I think it was about a 45 lap run to the finish. Kurt Busch slowly started catching Kyle. Kyle came up on some lap traffic, aka Kurt Busch's teammate Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain slowed Kyle Busch up a little bit, enough for Kurt Busch to get under him and drive away. I believe that was about 15 laps ago, something like that. Kurt Busch would pass Kyle Busch. Kyle was hanging with him, though. He was trying to stay with him, and then with about 2, 3, 4 laps to go, Kyle just burned all his stuff up trying to get back up to Kurt. Kurt Busch would drive away and win in surprising fashion. I don't think anybody really expected Kurt Busch to come out and dominate this race like the way he did. As for Kyle Busch, obviously I feel bad for him. It's the same thing that happened to Kyle Larson in the spring. Kyle Larson was catching Brad Keselowski or Joey Logano, one of the two. I think it was Joey Logano. But Kyle Larson caught him, slowed him down, allowed Blaney to pass him. Blaney went on to win. Same thing happened here. That's just tough luck. Teammates on the track found each other, and it worked out for Kurt Busch here. So Kurt Busch got the win. Surprising fashion. He, like I said, was not expected to win this race. Kyle Busch ran well. The Fords ran a little bit well, but Hendrick Motorsports didn't run as well as everybody thought they would. Kyle Larson, I don't think he ever led the race. Alex Bowman looked pretty good. He was probably the best Hendrick car today. Chase Elliott fell back, worked his way up to a top 10. And William Byron, I don't know what happened to him. He fell back to the mid-teens. So that was a lot for the Cup race today. But Matthew, what do you unfortunately have to say about the Cup race?
Well, I'm trying to think what I gotta say. Well, it's definitely shocking about Kurt Busch. He came out of nowhere. I mean, it was like watching this Jack Roush Team Penske day, Kurt Busch, right there. I mean, that was like his Roush Penske days, up there, dominating. I haven't seen that from him in a long time, so it's great to see that. Now we know why we're going to get that repave now, because the whole track came apart. I mean, that's the reason why we're having that repave. I guess that I bet there's still people gonna find a way to say they shouldn't repave it, but they just gave us a perfect example of why. So, well, that's it for that old surface, and man, that that last stage, I had so many emotions. Like we had we had the right pit stop right there. We were able to get in front of Kurt. And I thought we were able to keep him behind it because how this aero package works is just hard to when you get close to somebody, it just stalls you out. So it's like, I feel like if we were able to just keep him out, we'd be able, just cruise on through. But then Ross Chastain appears. I'm so sorry, Larson fans. I actually, now I know what it feels like, to have that same thing happen. The teammate basically manipulating the race and holding up the leader for absolutely no, I shouldn't say absolutely no reason because the teammate's bound, but I mean, you're going a lap down and you can't just be in the way of the leader. I mean, if I were Kyle Busch right now, I would have knocked him. I would have gone over there and just gotta knock someone out for that. I mean, you don't just hold up the leader when you're obviously slow and you're going a lap down. I mean, maybe NASCAR needs to start black flagging these people who purposely blocks the leader for basically giving their teammate advantage. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is the second time now this year in the same track, nevertheless. Yeah, I mean, Kurt Busch, it's great for him that he won. I mean, it shows that he still got it, and he's still going to be a top free agent for the possibly Trackhouse or 2311. I guess the only thing good I could take out of it is that at least Kyle won stage, which always helps. And we're looking strong again, which always helps as well for momentum for the playoffs. But other than that, I mean, I got a lot more to say about Chastain, but this is a family show. We got to keep it PG rated or G rated, but I'm not gonna eat any watermelons for a while at least. So that's all I have to say, and yeah, it's what are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say it's frustrating for sure, but I don't think there's anything NASCAR can do about it because, like Ross Chastain, it's the same thing that happened with Chase Elliott in 2017 at Dover, except it wasn't a teammate; it was just Ryan Newman, and Ryan Newman, one of the hardest guys to pass, and all of that. Newman held Chase up. I don't think NASCAR could really do anything about it, just because Chastain was up to speed and everything.
Season, and nonetheless, both of them are teammates. It's obviously what was going on. It was obvious what they were doing.
Yeah, but Chastain didn't slow all the way down and check up and hit the brakes on the track and hold Kyle Busch up. But it's difficult for sure. But I don't think NASCAR could do anything about it. It's a fine line, but I don't think NASCAR's gonna do anything about it. If Chastain hit the brakes and checked up in front of Kyle Busch, yeah, I think they might consider doing something about it. But I don't think NASCAR will just for that specific incident. But I guess I'll go ahead and rate the race. I really don't want them to reconfigure this track. This race was a perfect example of that. That final stage was great. Even once Kurt Busch passed Kyle was still trying really hard to get back to Kurt Busch, and a bunch of slipping and sliding, really close racing. I thought we were going to have another close Atlanta finish, but it was the final stage was really good green flag racing, and that's what I love to see. I really wish they weren't reconfiguring this racetrack, but oh well. Hopefully it's a decent reconfiguration. I don't think it'll ever go back to the Atlanta it used to be, but races like that are why I love the old Atlanta surface. I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. The first and second stage were okay, nothing great. Kyle and Kurt were going back and forth all throughout that second and third stage. I really loved the green flag racing. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So what are you going to give it?
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I mean, besides the whole leader, the battle for the lead, nothing much really happened memorable besides the track basically crumbling. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Alright, so we're going to show our score updates on here for you guys. I got 1 point. We only got combined. We only got 1 point this weekend for the Xfinity race. That's kind of sad. None of our truck picks won.
That's shocking.
And then Kurt Busch kind of snuck up out of nowhere. I wouldn't say snuck up out of nowhere because Chip Ganassi's, they've been building a lot the past few weeks. They've been getting a lot better. Last week at Road America, they ran really well. So I wouldn't say I'm surprised by Kurt Busch. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm shocked, but I guess I'm surprised that Kurt Busch came out and dominated like this. Hendrick and Chip Ganassi, they combined all their resources and everything, so I'm not completely shocked, but I'm a little bit surprised. But anyways, great win for Kurt Busch, great win for them. Time to update our fantasy. Like I said, we only got 1 point combined for the both of us. I got 1 point, so I have 17 and you have 28, so you still have a very healthy lead. But I do get to pick first for next week at New Hampshire, so hopefully that can treat me well and I can get a few more points leading into the summer as we close down the playoffs. But do you have anything to add before we wrap it up?
Not really. Like I said, I'm probably gonna look back at this video next week and I'm gonna look like an absolute fool. But it's just, the emotions. This is like we're recording this like almost right after this race, so you get to see real emotion this one.
Yeah, thankfully we keep it rated G on this show, thankfully. So nothing too crazy for you guys as far as that goes. But yeah, last week you saw it with me. I was hyped up for Chase Elliott winning. 2 weeks ago you saw it hyped up with Matthew, and Kyle Busch won a few weeks ago. So you get to see our live reactions pretty much right after the race. But that's going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. We hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of action at the racetrack this weekend from dirt to Atlanta. Next week we'll be coming out with our New Hampshire preview. That'll be coming out more than likely on Friday. But until then, we will see you guys in the next video.